Hi everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar, Get to Know the New SciNote Look. My name is Bashka Orel, and I'm Customer Support Specialist here at SciNote. I'm also joined today by my colleague Hannah Gaber, who is our Marketing Communications Manager.
Hello everyone.
So the purpose of today's webinar is to demonstrate the latest changes and improvements our team has made in SciNote. So we are really excited to walk you through the improvements, since this is one of the major updates we made in SciNote from its first official release in 2016. So today we're going to focus on three major improvements in SciNote. The first one is the new SciNote layout with left-sided menu and navigation bar. So this is how you will then easier understand the new SciNote structure and navigate through the main layers, which are the projects, experiments, and tasks. Then the next focus will be the centralized inventories features. So this is a place where you can now store and manage all your lab resources in one place. And the last focus will be a new functionality on uploading images and reports to inventory items. So for example, you will now be able to link your protocol to a lab instrument. The last 15 minutes of our webinar will be dedicated to Q&A session. So we will answer all of your questions. You can post your questions already during the webinar on the live chat on the right side of the video player. If the comment area is gray and you cannot write a comment, simply go to your YouTube profile in the right upper corner, then click Create Account, enter your information, and return to our live session. So the easiest way to return to our webinar is to then go to the history, which is found on the left side of the YouTube main page. If you're experiencing any technical problems in connection with the webinar, please send us an email to info@scinote.net. I'm also sharing you the email on the presentation, and our webinar support team will help you out. We have also prepared a special treat for you today. So you're all getting a 15% of discount in case you wish to upgrade to SciNote Premium plan. We will share these instructions on how to redeem your discount at the end of the webinar. So please stay tuned. And don't worry, the video recording of today's webinar will be sent to you by the email. Before we actually now focus on the demonstration, let me just say a few words about SciNote if some of you is new to it. So SciNote is an electronic lab notebook, but it offers so much more than the conventional note-keeping tool. So SciNote helps you to manage your research projects. It helps you to organize your work and divide it among lab members. Also to keep track of your day-to-day work. At the same time, SciNote, besides that it's protocol management tool, it can help you to store and manage your resources. So your resources can be your protocols, your samples, your reagents, lab equipment, and so on. And it can also enable you that you can link these resources to other relevant data. SciNote is an online application, so it means that it's cloud-based, and it's currently used by 30,000 users worldwide. If you don't have SciNote account yet, you can always create it on our SciNote webpage, and I'm also sharing the link on our presentation. Okay, so now we can actually start with the demonstration, and let's see which improvements we have in SciNote. So as you can see, overall, we have changed the graphical design in SciNote. We have changed the entire color palette. So we have some new green, as you can see, the buttons over here. Also, we have changed the pages, the models, the icons, and the buttons. So for example, over here, we have a more enlarged projects, and we have a bit different buttons that we had before. The layout now has a better consistency, so it's resulting in more friendly and intuitive interface. So for example, the first thing that we have done, we have moved the team switch button. So from the right side over here on the left at the top, so you can easily switch between your teams. For the ones who are new at SciNote, so a team is basically a group of people who share the same repositories. Actually, now they're called inventories. So you are sharing the same lab resources, and a team can actually be also used for individual use, and it's not necessary that you share it with others. The menu bar, which was at the top, is now moved on the left side of the screen. So here on the left, you now can see the main categories, actually the elements, which are the projects, the inventories, the protocols, and the reports. Also, the archive is now gone. So here on the right upper corner, you can only see now the notifications. Then under your profile, you can check your latest version of SciNote that you're using. And you also have a shortcut if you wish to upgrade to SciNote Premium. The search function has stayed on the same place. So over here is where you can type in any keyword and you just click go. And basically SciNote will search throughout the entire software and also through the content of the attachments. If I now return to our left side, so over here we have this new menu bar and navigation bar. So before we had also breadcrumbs, which helped you to lead back to the main structural elements. But right now we actually have the better option, which is this navigation bar. And basically the navigation bar helps you to navigate through all of these main structural layers, which are, and I'm going to briefly guide you through it. So the first level are the projects, which are visible on your team. Then if you follow my mouse, if I, for example, now decide to click on the demo project, I enter its overview, which is the second layer, and these are called experiments. In this case, on the demo project, we have two experiments. And then, for example, if I now open the qPCR experiment, I enter its overview, which are called tasks. So when tasks are connected to each other, this is called a workflow. You can actually then, of course, enter each of these tasks individually by clicking the name in the navigation bar, or you can actually go on the main screen on the canvas and just click on the name of the task card. Also, you can toggle the visibility of the navigation bar, so you can hide it. So over here you have this arrow. So for example, I can now hide the navigation bar, and I can also then have much more space on my canvas, and I can also then move the workflow around. I'm going to make it visible again so that you will see. Then at the same time, the very important thing is that on the menu bar at the bottom, we have moved the activities from top to the left. So activities are actually the timestamp of all the changes that happen in SciNote. So who have made what and when. These are the global activities. Then we have the support tab, which are just like a shortcuts to the useful information, such as to our support center, video tutorials, webinars. And then the last option, repeat tutorial, is basically, it means that you would then rerun the tutorial, which are 6-7 slides that guide you through the main features in SciNote. And then settings have also been moved then over here. So the settings are basically for your personal account or for the teams. So under the account is where you can then change your picture or your email. You can also then change your notifications. And under Teams tab is where you can manage your teams. So for example, these are all the teams that I belong to. The one that I have created as a free user is, of course, only this one, which has my name. And if I now click on the team's name, I can see here all the basic information. So when it was created, who created it, how many storage space do I have, and of course also who are all the members. Here you have the Add Team Members button, so how you can then invite your colleagues to your team. Or if you click on your profile picture, and here click Invite People to SciNote, so here is then the second option, which is just a shortcut. Okay, so the second thing that has happened, the very important thing, are the inventories. So the inventories are now basically a merge structure from the custom repositories and samples repositories. So samples were basically moved from the task overview over here. So now if you follow my mouse once again, in the navigation bar, you can see that I have five inventories. The first ones are instruments, reagents, then plasmids, primers, and the last ones, samples. So as you can see, samples were moved over here. For example, the inventories are now a little bit more updated. So you can actually manage the columns. If you click on the advanced button on the right, over here, then just follow the manage columns. And here is where you can then add additional columns. And you can also make these columns more flexible. So I will show you just in a moment. I will actually just delete this example of pictures so that I can create it once again for you, that we won't have duplicates. So you click new column. And then, for example, if I now want to create a column picture so that I will be able to add a gel picture to the sample, or in this case, because we are now on the instruments inventory, if I would wish to upload a picture of the instrument, then we will create a column called picture. Beneath it, you have an option to choose what type of column now it will be. So if it's going to be a text, a file, or a drop down. So if you decided this column is going to be a text, then basically you will be only able to enter a simple text in this table cell. If you will decide that this table column will be a file, then you will be able to upload a file. So in this case, a picture. And the third option, the drop down, it will mean that you will actually create multiple choices once you will click on the table cell, that you will then choose from these different options. So I will show you the drop down column a bit later, but for now I want to show you the picture. So we will choose the column type file and we will click save. Here is also the flash message, as you can see once you finish the action. Let us now return to our instruments inventory. So we have added now our column. You can see it over here. And for example, to add now a picture, I'm able to because I have chosen the correct type. Now I select the box, click Edit, and I choose a file from my computer. Now I just want to find the right one. Okay, let's see this picture. Okay. Then we're going to click Save. And basically then, for example, I have here the samples. When you click on the uploaded file, then a preview window opens. So you can see actually now the entire image. And over here in the right corner at the top, you have an option to download it, or you can just then close the preview window. Also, for example, you can copy paste the hyperlink. So in this case, for the samples that I have created, I have pasted the link to the yeast genome database. So this is one possibility that you can do. So as you can see, you can manage a lot of these columns. And now I want to show you the drop-down option. So for example, in this case, because we have now instruments once again, we can also then toggle the visibility of these different columns. So for example, the ones that are highlighted, you can see that these ones are also visible over here. So the ID, name, added on, added by, samples, storage, place, reports, and picture. And the other four are hidden. So for example, I want to now make visible the storage space is actually already visible. So I want to just show you now it's hidden. And if I now click again, sorry. Okay, so it appears one more time. So now let me show you the drop down option. So for example, I have created different options for the storage place. So let's say that I can now store this protein sequencer in the dark room or room 1, room 2, or cold room. So let's say I'm just going to choose the cold room. You can create these options, these values, up to 500. So for example, if then you have a lot of these options that you can choose from the drop-down menu, over here you have the search field, so you can then just easily type the words and then just choose your value, your option, and click Save. So as a free SciNote user, you can create up to 6 inventories. So for example, I have now 5, so I have an option to create additional one. So in this case, I just click on this new inventory button over here. And then, okay, so we already have a suggestion. Then I just name my inventory. So in this case, mice, and I click create. And we have a new inventory. Then, of course, to add your mice to the inventory, you just click on the new item, and then you give your item a name. Another thing that was added to the inventories are the ID unique identifiers. So for example, let me just go on the instruments. Okay, so over here you see the column ID. So this is now a new default column, and basically you don't need to now manually create IDs for your let's say samples or your model organisms, or basically SciNote will create it for you automatically. So this is now become a default column, such as the assigned column, the added on, added by, and yeah, this is it. Okay, so now I will also show you the protocols and the reports. So the protocols basically have not changed. So we have the team protocols, the ones that are visible to the entire team. Then under the My protocols, you have your personal protocols. And then under the Archive, the ones that you don't use anymore. Under the reports, we have then all your reports that are created. And now I would just like to show you what we have changed on the task overview. So I will now guide you through all the structural layers. So I will go on the demo project. Then I will click on the qPCR experiment and on the qPCR task. So the task overview has actually not changed a lot. Only here at the task menu bar, we have removed the reports. So reports are now moved over here on the left menu bar. And the samples, as I mentioned, are now merged into the inventories. So samples are now found over here. And if I now return to if you are following my mouse, I will now click on the qPCR. So we will return to the workflow, to the canvas. The samples that there was a possibility that you were able to assign samples on the task card. So this has also now changed, and where you can now assign samples and actually also other inventories is that you need to is in the overview. So you need to open a task, and then each of the tasks will have this inventories tab over here, and then you just select the appropriate inventory, and you switch to view all items, and then you just select your samples and click assign. So over here now you will have a possibility to assign an item only to one individual task or to all the tasks that are connected into a workflow. So let's say I only want to assign these 3 samples to the qPCR task and not to the entire workflow. And also what has changed is basically that when a task is completed, so I will just show you over here. So the status now here is marked as completed. And if I now go on the workflow overview, or also on the task card is marked. So when the task is completed, then actually notification is sent to users by email. And it's also shown in the notification icon on the project card and in the right upper corner of the main dashboard. Okay, let's see what else we have here. So the last very important feature are the reports. So for example, once you create a report is actually a PDF document that includes all the project data in SciNote. So once you create a report, then you have an option to actually link this report, to save this PDF report to the inventory. That means that you can, for example, link your report to one of the lab instruments. So in this case, you just click on Save PDF to the inventory, and then you select in the first field which inventory. So as I mentioned, let's say we want to choose one of the instruments. We will select a column. So the column is reports because we want to know that this is a report. Also, just a side note, before you actually save your PDF report to the inventory, you need to create a report column in the inventory first. So that then you will have an option to choose from it here. And then in the third field is where you actually select your items. So because we are now in instruments inventory, we are going to select one of the instruments, let's say thermal cycler. We just click save. And now I will go back to the inventories. So I will need to leave this page. So we have now saved it to the cycler. So over here is a search function where I can now type this in. Okay, so we have it over here. And since we have also the column, you can see that now here is the link to the PDF report. So I can now click on it and I can download it, or I can also just open it, actually download it. Okay, so these are now all the main improvements that we have made in these past months. There are also some features we haven't showed you today. And basically, these are the ones that are part of our payable plans. So let's take just a quick look at the comparison chart between the plans that we offer. So as you can see, we have the free version, which is no trial stage. And then we have 2 payable plans, which are Premium Academia and Premium Industry. So the free plan has limitation when it comes to storage space, number of allowed teams and inventories, as well as the user management and support service. Then Academia and Industry plans enable you to have SciNote hosted on a private cloud, and that actually guarantees you a faster and smoother usage of SciNote. At the same time, you also have a possibility to have local installation and local backup. In the payable plans, you also have unlimited number of themes, and you can pick how much storage space you would need. So you can start with 1 TB. And another difference is that the free plan, as I mentioned during the presentation, offers only 6 inventories, while the premium plans have 15. There's also a difference in the support service. So the free only has like the basic email support service, and then the premium plans include the premium support, which is actually the user training, and you also get a designated key account manager. Now, the main difference between the academia and industry is in the compliance. So the industry plan includes features and add-ons that can help you meet regulatory requirements, such as 21 CFR Part 11. And these features are electronic signatures, e-witnessing, system log records, and detailed audit trails. So the academia doesn't have these features. And on top of all that, the premium plans have also the advanced team management that comes handy for larger organizations. The pricing is based per user. However, the exact price for the package depends on all the different variables and quantity of the certain features you would need. So if you're not sure which plan would be best for you, or you would like to know more about the prices, you can request a quote. If you request a quote, you will receive a 15% discount on any premium plan. So Hannah will now share the link with you, the link to the webpage form. So you just fill it out and in order to request a quote. And on this webpage form, just make sure that you enter the promo code, which is web0618. Enter this code into the description field of the webpage form to redeem your 15% of discount. So Hannah has now shared the link in the chat. And okay, so we have now finished with our presentation. Hopefully you like the new SciNote look, and we are also open to your suggestions. Now, if you have any questions, we are starting with our Q&A session. Okay. Our SciNote is okay. So I'm now just reading the questions on our chat. So let me just see. So Valentina, you have a question. Our SciNote is still the same. When will these changes take effect? So Valentina, I assume that you're the premium customer. So for our premium customers, we have the release at the end of June. So the release will actually have all of these updates that you have seen in this presentation, but there will be also some added features that the free users don't have. Okay, so we are waiting for any additional questions if you have.
And just a quick reminder, if the chat doesn't work, you can always send your questions to info@scinote.net, and we will also include the answers of those questions.
We have another question from Valentina. Will it be possible to have private inventories? This is a very good question. So we have been thinking about it, but the thing is that this is associated with the team level. So basically, the inventories are shared among the team level, and it's very difficult to create the private inventories But our development team has this in let's say on the wish list of our premium customers, and we will discuss it on the development meeting. Your next question is there a plan to add a calendar feature? This is also something that is actually on the top of the wish list. And yes, the answer is yes. We are going to implement the calendar feature as well. I just don't have now the exact timeline for it. So when is this going to happen? Is this the 1.14 14.2 version? Yes, it is, and actually, we can check this about SciNote. So yes, this is the version. Okay. If there are any new users joining us today, you can also ask us questions that are not so much related to the new SciNote look. We are happy to answer them, or if you have any questions for your use case, for type of research that you do.
So we received one question via email. What exactly is the AI manuscript writer and how does it work? So that's a really good question. You probably saw that it's included now in all the plans. So the AI manuscript writer add-on is basically a tool that can help you generate a draft of your scientific manuscript based on two things. So the DOI numbers and keywords you can put in the software, and then all your materials and methods are created from the data that you have in SciNote. So this is basically a tool we've developed to help you save time and stress when creating manuscripts. Something you can start working on, and at the same time, it can also sometimes help as a tool for internal reports. Yeah, and even in the free version, you can get free access. Blaszka is now sharing the link. So on the website, you can just apply and 5 drafts will be available to you in the free version. And we have another question. So do you still offer the PI and students version? So yes, again, you can find the link on our website. You just send us an email and we will share all the information with you how to get started.
Okay. So maybe we will wait a few moments to see if there are any other questions.
And if any other questions pop up during a later time, you can always send us the questions via email anyways.
Okay.
I think we can wait a few more moments.
Yeah.
So here is also a link to the PI and students plan on our website with all the information.
So maybe just like a context, basically the PI and students plan allows you to get more storage space. So the free account offers you a maximum of 10 gigabytes, and the PI and students plan offers you 100 gigabytes. Okay. So I think that this is it. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you have enjoyed the webinar. If you struggle with SciNote or have any technical questions, please visit our support webpage or send us an email to support@scinote.net. Thank you once again and have a great day. Bye.
Goodbye.